My unit, salute, amped up. Wednesday, April the 9th for the year 2025. In today's show, we're going to be talking Jaida Parker, Jordynne Grace, both ladies colliding on last night's NXT. That was the high point of last night's show, obviously, for BC. I hold both of those ladies up on a pedestal. Unfortunately, that was the only thing worth talking about on last night's show. I did my due diligence. You guys are going to get a full NXT review for the most part. By the time I got to the main event, I completely checked out. But everything beforehand, a complete review. And you guys know you're going to get the absolute amplified truth on this show. A lot of you guys found that out in yesterday's Raw review. A lot of new subscribers to the channel. Salute. I appreciate you guys big time. My veterans for sure. Especially channel members. But to all the new subscribers that jumped on board, I appreciate that big time. Because that Raw review yesterday, which you guys made special, because you guys were talking about how this needs to be said more and it does not feel like Mania season, and you guys were giving your examples and giving your input on how bad these shows have become. And this close to Mania, that's completely unacceptable. So you guys contributing to that, it just made that review one of the best we've ever done on this channel. And again, you guys made that special. So I guess I shouldn't be surprised that a lot of people, found the channel, checked it out, and said, you know what? There ain't enough people calling it like it is. Too many people are shilling for these companies, right? Too many people are playing the tribalist fan or the tribalist creator or journalist. Maybe they hope for employment one day in these companies. So they want to stay on their good side. We'll bash the other company. We'll say this show is good. Maybe it's for clicks. Maybe it's reviews. Maybe it's for subscribers. I don't know what the reasoning is, but if you're calling it down the middle, if you're being honest, you can't honestly say Raw or SmackDown or any of these shows are good. You can say you like them. That's preference. I don't know how you could like these shows, but okay, preference. Nobody's going to drag you for that. But when you switch that word, I like this, to, oh, it's a good show. This was a good show. No, it's the opposite. These are dramatically, unacceptably, ridiculously bad. And in yesterday's Raw review, BC just had enough. I feel like I say that every Monday. But this close to Mania, man, it really hit. It hit a little differently. And I saw that so many of you guys just feel the same way. And that's what's pretty cool, man. We're all starting to sound off a little bit more about it, right? For the longest time, everybody just wanted to coddle Hunter Helmsley. And just because he now took over and we were all hoping for this new, revived WWE, the WWE we once loved, and Hunter's going to do that, the honeymoon phase is over. And finally, after a couple of years, I can't believe it took a couple of years, because BC saw this after a couple of hours. But finally, people are waking up and going, all right, I've given this dude mulligan after mulligan, month after month, year after year. It's clear. This ain't the answer. Hunter Helmsley is not the answer. And we cannot do another Mania season next year like we just did this year. So in this cold open teaser, I just wanted to say thank you guys for making yesterday's review so damn good. A lot of you guys thinking, BC, thank you for those words, man. This one hit home. This one, man, you nailed it. You were spitting. Thank you guys for contributing and adding on to it, so that more people can see, man, it's okay to just be honest and say this shit sucks, because we want to see it be good. We want to be talking about how truly good it is, not manufacturing fake excitement. Or because we hope to feel a certain way, keep telling ourselves that we feel that way. Again, like I said in yesterday's upload, there's so many, not just fans, but even journalists or content creators, podcasters, that just want to coddle the balls of Hunter Helmsley and stroke the ego of World Wrestling Entertainment as if either need that done to them. They don't. And you're most likely not getting employment with them anyway. Just be honest. Because it's those type of people that say these shows are good. It's the reason we don't get true change for the better. Thank you, guys. I know I've said that 100 times in this cold open teaser, but to bring it full circle, you'll have an NXT review. And I can't say, unfortunately, that that's that much better than Raw. But you'll get it. It's coming up in today's upload. We'll also talk the Raw rating. They're a week behind. So Netflix only gives it a week behind. So not this past Monday, but last week's. And you guys should not be shocked about the numbers I'm about to give you. But if you listen to a BC review, if you're ever wondering how realistic, how truthful really is BC when he's saying this, because maybe he is just giving his opinion, his thoughts, and maybe the shows are really good. No, the numbers will always see just how truthful I am, correct? When I give you this Raw number, you're going to see that it backs up everything I've been telling you. When you're going backwards, this was no Florida or NCAA championship game. This was last Monday. It's not a championship game of any caliber. When you guys see that you're going backwards during Mania season, that should tell you something. You're probably not producing a good show. But I got the numbers, and we'll just drop more facts. And I always try, if you're new to the channel, you're going to find that out. I like to talk about facts more than opinions, because then we can all be on the same page and try to strive for better. When we're all just shooting our opinions, discussion is good to a point. At some point when something is so bad like WWE RAW and SmackDown, and you truly got to make it better, well, we all have to be on the same page. So you start with the facts, so then we can build off them. It's like putting a 500,000 piece Lego set in front of you. All right, you got to start with the first few pieces. But you can't have three buddies around and you're all thinking that this piece should go here when this piece should go there. No, it clearly goes in one area. So get your shit together and find out where it's placed and then build on it. That's what we have to do as a community. If we want better, we truly have to strive for such. But we have to know what is fact and what is opinion. What we like and don't like, and what is good and what is bad. There's a difference between all of these spectrums. Thankfully, you got BC to guide you through it. But I'll give you the Raw number, man. And again, you shouldn't be shocked. It's sad. I feel like I say this every single week when the numbers come out. Especially when you're 10 days away from Mania. It's sad. But somebody's got to talk these numbers for you guys so you can truly see everything that BC's been telling you. When the numbers come out, they factually back up every word that I spit. Every word that I speak, every word that I spit. There you go. I can speak. More coffee, BC. In case you're wondering, guys, I'm not drinking all this during this upload. After we are done with this amped up, I do have to record something else. Totally separate from my New York Yankees. Complete voiceover. So they're not going to see me downing 100 coffees, a bunch of Clearly Canadian, some Starbucks. They won't see any of that. That's all voiceover recordings for my Yankees. But that's a project that's coming up after that. See that? How's that for loyalty? If you're ever wondering how committed BC is to this channel, you guys come first. I even booted my Yankees to second. Actually, that has to be done later anyway, because that's a collaboration. But that's another story. So Raw's number, we'll be talking NXT's review and a really great story, man. Nash, good buddy of Hunter Helmsley, in the most roundabout way imaginable, but also straight up saying, I'd fire Hunter Helmsley. Helmsley should be fired for his booking of WrestleMania. That's right. Nash is even admitting this. Wait till you hear what he said and what I mean by in a roundabout way, because he didn't want to totally throw him under the bus. But Nash is questioning these decisions just like all of us. So we'll talk about that. That's wild. We'll start with a fun little story with Tiffany Stratton, too. How about that? Tiffany finally opening up since that whole debacle with Charlotte Flair last Friday. That had everybody talking. They completely went off the rails there. But I think for the better, man. It actually got me a little bit more in tune to that match. And that's what Tiffany is saying. Tiffany's like, well, when it's all said and done, I mean, at least people are talking about it, want to see it a little bit more. But it's something else that she said that is very eye-opening, and it's starting to get the wrestling world talking. I'll tell you what Tiffany said about Charlotte Flair. And this is the first time Tiffany has opened up since that promo. So that's interesting as well. So we got a packed, jacked, stacked show coming up. Amped Up, Wednesday, the 9th of 2025. No opening signature. I think because of time restraints, I'm going to jump right into it if you guys don't mind. I had to get a little bit of my double shot Frappuccino first. Now we can jump into these stories. Actually, before I do, 2 shout-outs. Some of my tried and true amplified unit subscribers, man, starting with Mr. D'Amico down in the super. Thanks is down below. Chucking a coffee at the channel. Appreciate you, dude. I think this was yesterday's upload, actually. And Mr. D'Amico is going to WrestleMania 41. Even though that BC is and so many are just not feeling this Mania season. It's been botched. The matches don't make sense. The majority of them, even some that could have made sense, have just been built horrendously. It's just all over the place. A bunch of schmaz matches. I can go on and on. You guys know. There's still matches that need to be announced. We're 10 days away from the event. People have paid $10,000 a ticket plus. There was some front row seats that were going, I saw, between 13, 16 grand. And when those were purchased, they didn't even have the first night filled. There's still matches that need to be chucked at us this Friday and next Monday. And just like this past Monday, where they just chucked a bunch of random matches at us out of nowhere. Title matches, too. They just ripped the Band-Aid off, announced the triple threat with Rhea, Bianca, and Io. Then they immediately went backstage where Finn Balor and Dominic Mysterio announced that they're going to be going for the IC title in a Fatal 4. What? And then all of a sudden, backstage, Adam Pearce is like, yes, Rey Mysterio, you're going to take on the Lucha Latte, El Grande Americano. I love my coffee, but where did that just come from, dude? That's like a SmackDown match at best. The frick is that at WrestleMania? Now we're just literally just trying to fill the card. That shouldn't be, dude. Don't make it 2 nights if you can't make it 2 nights. Does that make sense? Like, if you know you can't handle it, don't make it 2 nights. But they got greedy. That's what this company is. And when Endeavor purchased it, and now Silver Lake, you thought the greed was bad before. Everybody that thought Vince McMahon was greedy, you have no idea, bro. Vince didn't even want to put his own WWE logo on the canvas. Now you have like 8 advertisements every Monday and every pay-per-view. Vince would have never had the Prime Energy big bottle that Logan likes to have by the commentary table. None of that. Now you have more advertisements than ever before on Netflix. So now you're paying for the streaming service, but you're also watching 100 ads. A lot of us are anyway, depending on the tier that you're on. But that's nothing, man. That is nothing compared to every other aspect and area that they're just trying to suck every penny out of you that they can. And it'd be one thing if they were giving you enough entertainment, a good product in return. They're taking more and more money from us and giving us less and less. I'm like, what? So they go 2 nights. That wasn't to help us. Because, oh man, we're going to give you twice the entertainment because you guys love this. No, it's hey, we can make more money this way. And you say, well, BC, that's business. Yes, but a good business is ran like this. You ready? You think of all these areas to get as much money as imaginable while giving your consumer, your customer, the best possible volley, the best product. And business goes round and round. That's what a good business does. A good business just is like, how can we get as much money as possible and give as little as possible? Because that business model will go right into a wall one day. And we go over these numbers all the time. It's already starting to happen, guys. Chicago's Raw was not sold out. That's right. The final papers that came in, they were not sold out. I don't even recall Michael saying it was, did he? So maybe they actually didn't even claim it was. I thought maybe he did once. Whether he did or not, Chicago, not sold out. Just 2 weeks before Mania. Less than. Or that was what, 2.5, right? Yeah, and then where were they this week? Minneapolis, something like that. Wherever that was not sold out as well, guys. So that is back-to-back non-sellouts for Raw. Have to check out on SmackDown as well. Yeah. Point is, do you guys, I mean, even last year they were touting all of these sellouts in a row and not so fast. Not so fast, man. I told if there was somebody in the community to tell you that was going to run dry eventually, and that's going to be more imminent than later, BC was right from the jump. Here we are just 1 year later, and they already are having trouble selling out. Thank goodness they went out of the country for 3 straight weeks. It's the only way they were selling those tickets. If you want Mania tickets, like Mr. D'Amico saying he is going to Mania. Yeah, you know why? Because you can still get them. Mania is far from sold out Saturday and Sunday. They can't sell the tickets. And they're too stubborn. They're too greedy to lower pricing. With Ticketmaster and that whole juggernaut, they're keeping the prices so they can't sell out. Now, come Mania, they're gonna act like it's a sellout. They're gonna tell you it's a sellout. It's bullshit. And asses in seats will be even worse because a lot of that third party, a lot of those scalpers, they're not going to be able to sell all those. Did you see what they announced for recorded revenue last quarter? It was the first time in years they did not record record revenue. They actually went backwards the first time. BC told you this was going to happen. Merchandise sales down across the board. Ratings, which we're about to go over, going backwards as we get closer to Mania. That's not good. Every metric is down. And you notice they're not saying business is booming as much anymore. Because they realize the honeymoon is over. It's not booming anymore. There's only so much greed. There's so much sucking every penny you can out of the consumer. And when you're not giving them anything in return, eventually they will wake up. Even the kids that just want to drag their parents so they can get to the arena to yell, "This is awesome," yeet, and sing along with Seth. Eventually, even the parents will go, "Wait a second, this isn't even good anymore, is it?" Like every time I come downstairs and you're watching it, little Billy, you're sleeping 40 minutes into it. The show puts you to sleep and you want us to spend $25,000 to go as a family to see In Your House pay-per-view Vengeance. Doesn't even have to be a Mania. I can go on and on. Anyway, this was supposed to be an uplifting thing for Mr. D'Amico, man. This was a super thanks. I appreciate the coffee. What I was trying to get at is, even though all of that is not good, going there, I mean, if you already got the tickets, man, go in there with the mindset to have fun. No question. I'm not saying act like a clown and yeet for 20 minutes. Please think of us at home and just get it done with. Tell your section, all right, it's been 13 minutes. Can we just move on? My boy BC really would like to get this done by 1 a.m. You know, you don't got to sing along with Seth for 25 minutes just because you paid $10,000. Mr. D'Amico did not. But, you know, you ain't got to be a goofball about it and act like all of it's awesome, because Hunter will let that get to his head and be like, "Oh, we got to do more of this. On Monday, how about you yeet for 35 minutes, Jay?" But go and have a good time, man. Get yourself some beverages, some good food. Shoot the shit with the other fans around you. Go explore, you know what I mean? That's what going to the event is all about. See all the wrestlers and you know, the night should be fine. Usually when there's bad build and all that, the boys and gals still go out there and they turn the shit that they were given into gold. So I think it's gonna be a good couple of nights. I think when it's all said and done and BC does the review, I think in totality we're gonna be saying, "Oh, it was a good WrestleMania." You know what I mean? You really have to have bad booking, horrible creative, just absolutely shit finishes, botches galore. I mean, it would take a lot for a Mania to go off the air and it wasn't good. But that doesn't make all of this better. Right? All of this whole lack of build and this whole WrestleMania season that has been atrocious, this doesn't go away just because Hunter gives us 1 and 2 nights of a good event. He did that at the Chamber. He had one good paper, shit television beforehand, shit television after. He goes to the Chamber, they have a good night because John Cena turned heel. And then who's the first person at this media scrum? It's Helmsley, and Helmsley looks at the camera and he says, "Now does it feel like Mania season?" Dude, you gave us one night at the pay-per-view. And most of the stuff that happened, you didn't even have anything to do with, bro. You should be thanking John Cena to the high heavens. But he wanted to play the big shot and say, "Now does it feel like Mania season?" Well, here we are a month later, and I retaliate that. I volley that back, right? Now does it feel like Mania season, Hunter? No, it doesn't, does it? Of course not. But Mania itself should be good. I don't have any doubts that the boys and gals will go out there and knock it out of the park. And we'll be talking about, hey, it was a good night of action. And as long as you put some semblance of thought into the finishes, I don't think we'll be talking about a bad WrestleMania. So if you're there live, Mr. D'Amico, rock it out, man. Have a lot of fun. You already got the tickets anyway. But yeah, I mean, only the consumer can decide, like, how bad has something got that it's not even worth the price to go. I used to go to so many shows. Guys, it ain't the money that's the issue, I assure you. As crazy as these prices have gotten, it's the fact that it's not even worth my time. I mean, you could walk on the grid past Madison Square Garden, as I do 1 billion times, and there could be a show, and a lot of times they like to start early, so it's like, dude, I can be out of this show by 4 or 5 o'clock. And it's not even worth it. It's not even like if you gave me CM Punk versus Seth Rollins versus Roman Reigns at a Madison Square Garden house show, I would still pass by. I wouldn't. If you said, BC, I can get you 5th row, third row for $100. Go see the main event, Seth, Roman, Punk. I'd be like, no, thanks, man. I don't right. I have to get somewhere. I have no reason to watch these 3 baby faces fight each other just in a Paul Heyman on a pole match. There's no title on the line. There's not enough animosity for me between Punk and Roman that would warrant them to be in a triple threat with Seth. That's weird. Just because they have history from years and years ago, and because Paul Heyman doesn't know where his allegiance is. This whole thing is for custody of Paul Heyman. How stupid is that? I wouldn't need to see that at a house show. But only the consumer can decide if they're going to pull themselves into these arenas, give WW their money. And if you do decide such, absolutely have a good time, man. You know what I mean? You don't go there and just be miserable, obviously. Oh, man, screw this. Unless it's really bad. Then be honest. And then instead of yelling, this is awesome, you say, this is awful. Fuck this shit. Fuck this shit. You know what I mean? Start some shit with your section. Have a lot of fun. But tell Hunter Helmsley, who's right on the other side of that curtain at Gorilla, let him know how you feel if it sucks. Could you guys imagine if the whole WrestleMania season sucked and then Mania sucked too? I don't even want to think of that, man. We're all thinking that at least Mania itself will be good. I don't know. That was a long-winded answer to that coffee. But it kind of goes into our first topic, or right after I talk some Tiffy. Maybe I'll switch Tiffy time, because now I'm on a roll. We might as well go into the Raw numbers. But because it kind of gels into that conversation, Mr. D'Amico, have a good time at Mania. That's probably what I should have said 10 minutes ago. Regardless of how bad this Mania season is. Have a good time, dude. And then Rob Reverne, I got to give a shout out to, man. Also, a couple of coffees being chucked via the thanks down below. Tipping BC for all of this wildfire content that I am distributing. I'd like to think anyway. So Rob Reverne is making sure BC stays amplified. So for that, I say thank you, Rob. And how did you put it? Amplified reality check. I like that. Somebody has to do it. Somebody has to speak this because there's too many people. Content creators, podcasters, like I said, journalists, they're just shilling for this company. And they'll say wild shit. Like they'll take a Raw this Monday. They'll look at the camera or they'll write as a journalist, this was a good show. This was a good show, they'll say to their audience. Like, how can they keep a straight face saying that that's a good show? Again, if you want to say I like the show, hey, that's your prerogative. But once you switch the word out with like and you say, no, it was a good show, what are you talking about? So that's why in yesterday's review, I had to go step by step to show you guys how bad it was. This wasn't just me just yapping away, telling you my thoughts on how I think it was bad. I was showing you how bad it was. And now I'm going to show you even more with more facts. You guys ready for this? So again, Rob Reverne, appreciate the coffees big time, man. Always appreciate you guys throwing a coffee on these regular uploads via the thanks down below. But always remember, it's never needed. It's always appreciated, but it is never needed. But if you guys want to keep me extra amplified and drinking more coffee than ever before so we're more amped up, hey, man, I think that's pretty cool. So on behalf of the unit as well, Rob Riverne and Mr. D'Amico. Thank you. So I want to go. Tiffany just got bumped. Tiffany just got bumped off the card, or at least later into the card on today's show, because now I'm feeling it. I'm in the groove. We're ripping apart the numbers that WWE is supposedly getting. It's a boom period. Wrestling is booming. WWE is making more money than ever before, but not so fast. It looks like the honeymoon phase is over. I already told you guys, man. They did not record record revenue this past quarter. They went backwards. Merchandise, ratings, everything's going backwards. They can't sell out all these shows before Mania. That's rough. They can't sell out Mania. Not even one day yet. That's rough. But let's look at Raw's numbers. Now, again, Netflix records these or distributes them a week later. So not this past Monday. So I don't want to hear about any NCAA championship game. Not that I use that as an excuse anyway. You give your audience a reason that it's the NCAA championship they're going to have to think about afterwards. But you got to watch this right now. I mean, you used to do that in the Attitude Era with football, man. This was football. And we were like, sorry, dude. Fucking Austin's coming out. Him and McMahon are going face to face. The Rock is throwing Austin off a bridge. Yeah, I'm going to need to see that. Sorry, Cowboys and 49ers. But today we just use everything as an excuse. It was a holiday. It was a football game. It was a playoff. It was a championship. It was my grandmother's 95th birthday. That's why the numbers were down. So last week, not this past Monday, Raw globally fell off over 100,000 viewers, a 2.9 mil number, 2.9 globally. That's across 7 days. That's not just on the night. Across 7 days, 2.9. Somehow, as we go closer to Mania, the numbers went backwards. Viewers fell off. Viewers chose not to watch. If you're wondering, U.S. and domestic 1.2 notched. We don't have solid numbers. They just don't distribute them like the global numbers. We just have all the metrics that us numbers guys, that we have cracked the code. The closest we can get to is between a 1-1 and a 1-2. So I'm actually giving WWE the benefit of the doubt that they're not a 1-1 or less. I'm giving them the high end 1-2. Now, if you're wondering, on the USA Network, when it was on that station, that cable network, their average was between 1-4, 1-6. Yeah, it was getting bad no matter what. But they were hoping once they go to streaming, maybe there'll be enough buzz, 7-day period, they'll add to that. Guys, they've lost over 300,000 viewers on average in the US. And they now sit at a 1-2. Lowest for any Raw leading into a Mania. And this started again in January, when they went over to Netflix. They were still only averaging 1-5, 1-6. And that fell completely and quickly to 1-2, 1-3, and now 1-1, 1-2. So globally, 2.9, they lost over 100,000. And US, I'm being generous in keeping them at a 1-2, which is what I had them at a week previous. But more than likely, if over 100,000 were gone from global, you could take at least 50 from the US. And my guess is tops, they're in a 1-1-ish zone. But again, I'm going to be generous. And I'm going to give them a 1-2. That's horrible. If you want to see more info or hear more info on how bad it truly is, guys, Monday Night Raw fell to 6th on the US top 10. 6th. They're out of the top 5. Remember, there was a big hoop. Oh my God, they're not in the top. They're not in the top spot anymore. They thought like at least like the next day it'd be in the top spot. They were like, oh, it's out of the top 3. How is that possible, guys? You're not even in the top 5 globally, or 6th on the US top 10, and globally 6th. My bad. And on the US. 8th on the global. Oh, wow, that's even worse. I was like, wait a second. Did it fall to 6th on US and global? No. Oh, that's not good. Wow, guys, globally it fell to 8th, not 6th. It fell to 6 on the US top 10. My bad. So US also fell out of 5. It's in 6. Globally, it fell all the way to 8th. So now you would have to ask within the next couple of weeks, even with Mania season, I can't even believe I can't comprehend that we're having this conversation. This is what I mean. When I cut these Raw reviews and there's people that are like, I don't want to hear this, earmuffs, blah, blah, blah. You're just hating, man. It's negative. This is what I mean. We have to be truthful, because when this shit starts to happen, don't be surprised or shocked if Netflix in 5 years opts out, because they have an opt-out. This doesn't have to go 10 years. Netflix was smart. They have an opt-out clause after 5 if shit really goes south. It's already. Netflix is not going 10, I'm telling you. They're out in 5. I mean, they've already fallen to 8th globally. This is a 7-day period zone, man. This isn't just like they had a bad night. Okay, what about the other 6 days that add to these numbers? This is not good. They fell to 8th. Within a couple weeks, we could be talking about this show being out of the top 10. It debuted 3 months ago, guys. 3 months ago, this show debuted on Netflix. And you're already talking about numbers going back. As we get closer to Mania, the shows are getting worse and less people are watching it. You can't make it up. You can't fathom this. And there's people out with 140 characters that are going, these shows are good, huh? I like this. Hunter is long-term storytelling. There's podcasters and content creators and journalists that are trying with a straight face to say that these shows are good. Meanwhile, BC's telling you they're not, and who's right when the numbers come out? Just one dude. His name is BC. Everyone else looks like an idiot, right? This looks like a good show, and then the numbers come out. But I thought you said it was good. Well, I mean, I liked it. You know what I mean? Yeah, that's why I don't do opinion channel, man. Like, let's just let's present the facts and let's talk about them so we can make this shit better. Make pro wrestling great again. It's a simple philosophy on this channel. It's Mania season. We're going backwards. The only way this is even possible, guys, is if the shows themselves fucking suck. And they fucking suck. The only way that this can happen, these numbers, is if the shows suck. And I'll always be honest with you and tell you when they do. And I'll always show you the numbers to back up every word that I'm spitting to you guys. So you know just how honest I am with you. Yow. All right, then. That's the Raw numbers. Let's talk about something. You know what? I'm not going to bump Tiffy Time completely. I'm going to bring her back onto the show. Tiffy Time recently, and this is paraphrasing, but this is exactly what she said. She was asked about the whole Charlotte thing, that big promo, and just how the build's going, her match with Charlotte. And Tiffany said, you know what we found out this week is, I think Charlotte looked at me as just this newbie that she can kind of walk over because she's done it so many times, right? And she found out this week that, I will clap back. That's the exact word she used, that I will clap back. And she says, in the long run, at the end of the day, everybody is at least talking about it. And I think people are more into it now. So that's what really matters. But it's so interesting. The first part of her answer to that question was, calling out how Charlotte does prey on individuals like that. And if you're in the ring with her and you're doing a promo, she can sense that. It's like a shark in water. And she will absolutely tear you apart to make herself look better. You're not supposed to necessarily do that. Make yourself look good, but you also have to play off your partner. And if you're doing good in a match or a promo, anything, you both should come out looking good, no matter which role you are trying to play. But with John Cena and Charlie Flair, I noticed that once they see somebody hanging, they go way above trying to tear them down. It's more than just, all right, I have to save the promo. They're sinking and it's live TV. I have to save this. So yeah, I had to do some low blows. It's beyond that. They jump way too quickly. They're way too happy to do it, and they go way too low. So Tiffany this time, man, rocked right back. And I think it's because a couple weeks ago when everybody said Charlotte had cooked Tiffany Stratton in that sit-down side-by-side, I think Tiffany found out real quickly, that's what Charlotte will do. She's done it so many times. She'll throw little tantrums and she'll make you look bad. She'll throw championships at the feet of Becky Lynch and she'll do all of this thing. Nia Jax, you guys remember, that got real because they just didn't want to sell with one another. Live Monday Night Raw, they just started swinging for real. And there's so many instances where Charlie has done things like this. And Tiffany, this time, this time enough people had filled her in on this, right? She had gotten that, I'll use an NXT storyline, right? She has gotten intel on that, and she came ready. Whether you think the promo was flawless or her tone was off or she still looked bad, that's your prerogative. I get it. But she at least came to clap back at Charlotte. And I absolutely think that knocked Charlotte off a little bit. That line about the marriages, man, you go back and check it out. Charlotte was rocked. You know, like she was like she had to spit something out real quick. So then she spit the Ludwig Kaiser line out. But by then, Tiffany was already out. The crowd already thought the segment was over, so they're cheering. Charlie looks back at the hard cam like trying to put on a fit, you know what I mean? Like she was not expecting that. So good job for Tiffany, man. Tiffany Stratton. She's just the absolute total package, even on the mic. I said it. You guys have to give her some time with the face. And she said that in this interview too. She said, because I am still brand new and I'm still learning all this. You know, she brings that up because she's being real. Like, guys, she was brought up from NXT quick because they saw something so special in her, as did BC and so many. And when she got to the main roster, she was told, all right, you're going to be a big heel for the foreseeable future. Maybe in the future that will change, but this is and she was playing it great. That's what made people love her even more. She was that like conceited, stuck up, I want to get this over with so I can buy my new Gucci bag. Right? Like the Paris Hilton of Paris, the Kardashian of Kardashians. She was playing that beautifully, and her promos, they were great because that was the character she was playing anyway. And then she got so popular, they had to turn her face. And she's still trying to, and then they throw her into the waters with Charlie for some reason. That's not the first place you want to start off Tiffany. So Tiffany is learning to swim right now as a face. And sometimes you say, well, it's good to go in with the big dog immediately. No, sometimes, gradually get her there because she was not anticipating this. So, man, a few weeks ago, everybody just jumped off that Tiffy bandwagon. And this past week, everyone's like, all right, maybe I'll jump back on. Yeah, don't jump off. Tiffany Stratton's the real motherfucking deal, dude. She is so good in the ring. She's absolutely polarizing. And give her time. Her promos will even come around, man. You look top to bottom at promos in general, in totality, in professional wrestling. I could tell you 99 out of every 100 wrestlers suck on the microphone. Suck. So let's keep that same energy with a lot of individuals. That's the least of my worries right now with Tiffany Stratton, I assure you. All right, I told you, man. We bumped her for the first segments, but we brought Tiffany back. This is interesting, man. We got to talk this, and then I'll get to NXT's review, guys, I assure you, because I really want to talk Jaida Parker and Jordynne Grace. A matchup. When I heard that was happening, I'm like, which credit card? What pay-per-view? They're like, no, it's on TV, BZ free. I'm like, what? So we'll talk about that, but I got to talk Kevin Nash, good buddy of Hunter Helmsley, basically saying Helmsley should be fired. I'd fire Helmsley. That's what he's saying. Listen to this. So as per the booking of WrestleMania, and more specifically, Bianca Belair, Io Sky, Rhea Ripley, that matchup, Kevin Nash, good buddy of Hunter Helmsley, says this, and I quote, fucking horrible in my estimation. Number one, I would fire the general manager for putting Bianca as the referee and not at least making it a no DQ match. Of course Bianca is going to want to fight. I mean, to put your baby face in that predicament, I don't think that's a good thing. So he said, I would fire the general manager for putting Bianca in that situation. Well, Kevin Nash, who used to book for WCW and work hand in hand with Vince booking in WWE, hand in hand, he wasn't the booker, but he'd be right there for so much, as was Shawn Michaels, but actually booked in WCW. Kevin Nash said he would fire the fictional character that doesn't actually book this. We all know what he's talking about. He's saying he would fire whoever booked it, whoever would approve this It's the chief of content and creative. His good buddy Hunter Helmsley, he just said he would fire. He's the general. It's like Oz, Wizard of Oz, right? The dude behind the curtain. Don't open the curtain, because if you do, it's Hunter Helmsley. The general manager is fictitious. He's not actually booking this. So this was great, man. This was Nash saying, first and foremost, I would fire who booked this. And he starts talking about how you don't put Bianca, your babyface, in that predicament. Nash is finally waking up. I think he always knew this, by the way. He just didn't want to trash or throw his good buddy under the bus. But there's only so much you can spew before you even accidentally tell the truth. And the truth that Nash needs to realize even more so is that Hunter, his good buddy, doesn't care about faces and heels anymore. He doesn't care about tearing these individuals down. You guys brought up such a good point in yesterday's upload, by the way. Bianca getting booed. A lot of you guys mentioned this. Bianca was getting booed just for stating the obvious, that Rhea doesn't belong in this match. That's all she said. Bianca won the chamber, not Rhea. Rhea didn't win the Rumble. Rhea didn't win the Chamber. Rhea lost her title clean, and Rhea cried for 4 weeks and got into the matchup as a third wheel. All she said was she doesn't belong in the matchup, and people were booing. No, boo. Tells you a lot about today's fans that are going there, by the way. Just willing to accept anything. Nothing needs to make sense to these people. They don't give a shit. They're just like, where's Jey Uso? I want to yeet for 12 minutes. Where's Seth? I want to do a sing-along. It's sad. When's the next match starting, man? I want to start screaming, this is awesome. Put in Big Show versus Great Khali. I don't care. I just want to yell, this is awesome. Tells you a lot about the fans. They're just booing. They're booing reality. They're booing the only thing that makes sense, which is what Bianca said. Rhea doesn't belong. You can love Rhea. Love Rhea Ripley. That could be your favorite superstar. Still doesn't belong in here. Common sense wise, she lost the title. You cried for a few weeks. It's Daniel Bryan all over again. With that stupid triple threat with Roman Reigns and Edge for no reason. But Daniel Bryan cried, and enough fans cried. Enough fans were like, Bryan deserves to be in this, man. No, he doesn't. He didn't win the Rumble. There was no chamber. No, he doesn't. But enough people cried, and that's it. Just like we didn't get Rock and Roman because enough people cried, and we got Cody versus Roman Part 2. The same thing that should have been done a year earlier. They waited a whole year, and then Cody got his title. And I hope you guys had an amazing Cody title reign this last year. I hope it was everything you asked for, because we had to wait a whole nother fucking year to get it, and I never got to see Rock versus Roman. And now I don't even know if Rock ever wants to give you guys another match. So it's just, if enough people cry about it, I guess that's that. People were booing Bianca Belair. And Nash is right. You don't put your babyface in that predicament. So he takes Seth Rollins, CM Punk, and Roman Reigns, 3 babyfaces, and puts them in a same match together for no reason. Why would you do that? You're going to split your audience 3 ways. And then for the ladies, he's like, let me do the same thing. I'm going to take 3 of my top babyfaces, Bianca, Io, and Rhea, and I'll do what I did with Seth, Punk, and Roman. I'll put them all in a triple threat match too. And I'll split my audience 3 ways. They'll boo Bianca, they'll boo Rhea, some will boo Io, and they'll all come out better for it. No, they won't. We've seen this song and dance before. The only good thing back in the day is we didn't see it as much as we are now. Hunter Helmsley, it's almost like he's internally sabotaging this on purpose. It's almost like, how far can I sabotage these individuals before they finally take notice? I mean, it's got to be bad when his own buddy Kevin Nash is going, dude, I would fire whoever booked this. Code. General manager, that's code. What do you think of it? Yeah. Nick Aldis is actually planning out these SmackDowns. Adam Pearce is actually booking Raw. Stop. It's Hunter Helmsley. Well, BC, maybe he meant his other good buddy, Road Dogg. Road Dogg's a writer, maybe. Who do you think is the final approval? It's the dude on headset right there at Gorilla. His name's Hunter Helmsley. Paul Levesque McMahon. That's who. Back in the day, the buck stopped with Vince McMahon, and everybody was fine dragging him under the bus and ripping him apart for these decisions. But now, because it's Helmsley, so many people keep their fucking mouth shut. So when Helmsley botches these shows and botches a whole Mania season, when Helmsley makes one mistake after the other, do you know what so many people do? They go, Hunter, sorry, I gotta go rip AEW. AEW sucks, they say, right? Fuck this, man. I would rip Hunter, but I gotta go talk bad about All Elite. That's what they just switch over, right? They switch it over to All Elite Wrestling. But whoa. That's not what we're talking about. The company that's been around 50 years, or predominantly for 50 years-ish, they're absolutely producing the worst television of all time. That's right. I'll go back to 1993 and all those WrestleMania 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, right? Those are some rough years. Looking back, I'd take that over this television any day. And you don't want to talk about the company that this should be unacceptable because they've been around forever. No, you want to take a company that's been around for approximately 6 years, still going through growing pains. They'll find their way, hopefully. You want to just turn your attention to them and rip them apart, but you'll give Hunter Helmsley the clean slate to do whatever he wants. Because when he fucks up, when he botches, when it's horrible television, we'll say it's good. We'll say give it time. We'll say it's going to work out. Let it play out. I can't talk about how bad WWE shows are. I gotta give my attention over here to All Elite Wrestling. How can Tony Khan do this? Who's bringing up AEW? Stop. Nobody's talking about AEW right now. Stick to this. Enough people blow so much smoke up Hunter's ass that you get shit like this. Not making sense, detrimental to the characters that are in there, like Bianca and Rhea and Io. And when your own friend is telling you he'd fire your ass because the buck stops with Hunter. We used to say that with Vince. Keep the same energy. Don't be blaming Road Dogg or Christopher Pritchard, Michael P.S. Hayes, or Michael P.S. Hayes' third cousin twice removed, or creative writer 512. No, blame the dude where the buck stops, Hunter Helmsley. That's what Nash is doing, clearly. General manager is code for fire Hunter Helmsley's ass. That's what Kevin Nash would do. I love it, man. Finally, just say it sucks. I don't care if your name's Kevin Nash. Say it. Because if he's your true friend, he's going to want to hear that his shit sucks. Good job, Nash. Can't believe I'm saying that. But good job. I'm going to get a swig of coffee. Then we're going to talk some NXT. Does that sound good, guys? First matchup of the night, the one I was really looking forward to. Jaida Parker versus... I almost said Julia. She came back. Wait till we talk Julia. But Jaida Parker versus Jordynne Grace. And then after that, it just unraveled. And I don't know. It's almost like Hunter Helmsley booked NXT last night, and it showed. Swig of coffee, my double shot frappuccino if there's anything left. We'll come right on back. We'll talk some NXT. This is NXT 4/8/25, by the way. Amplified review. Jaida Parker versus Jordynne Grace. Stephanie Victor is out there. She's on commentary. She ends up getting involved, sort of. I almost felt like she was kind of egged on to that situation. I don't think she went out there swinging. But you get all of these personalities and characters together, and it's a combustible element. So Stephanie does get involved. The match is thrown out. I forgot if one got DQ'd over the other or whatnot, but for the most part, point is, nobody actually went over the other. Match was kind of thrown out. Julia would hit the ring. Clears it, including dropping Stephanie on her dome piece. The blue hair, punk rocker Julia is back. Not the Julia that took off a few weeks back. And we should be thankful it was only a few weeks. You know, you're talking vacating the title, things like that. You think maybe they're taking her off for several months. No, she's back for Mania weekend, man. Stand and deliver. I believe they did announce it officially. It's going to be a fatal four-way for that championship. Steph, Julia, Jaida, and Jordynne, correct? But Julia just looked magnificent, man. And when you are back to how you are originally, like you're rocking with your comfort zone and what brought you to the dance, you guys, it affects the self-esteem and your confidence so much. I mean, if you thought Julia was good so far in NXT, if you saw what she did last night and how she was vibing and that look on her face and the mannerisms and how she was feeling herself, that's Julia, dude. So my point is you're going to get an even better Julia as we go forward, most likely starting at Stand and Deliver. But they did make that multi-woman match. And guys, that was the theme of the night. Stand and Deliver is just going to have a plethora, it seems like anyway, of just multi-person schmaz matches. It's like they're booking like WrestleMania. I mean, if you told me that Hunter showed up, locked Shawn Michaels into a closet for 2 hours and booked this, I'd believe you. I'd first ask, has anybody let Shawn out of the closet or bathroom? And then I'd say, how the heck did this happen? Who is giving Hunter Helmsley and his name is there as producer at the end of all of these shows, even NXT, right? Who produced this? Hunter Helmsley. So it's fitting. This was not a good show, and I'm going to blame Hunter Helmsley. How's that sound? But this is easily the best version of Julia. Jordynne had a nasty botch. Jordynne Grace was doing a suicide dive toward the end of this match. Almost fell on her face. And I would have been okay with that because it saves her neck. Because she almost landed on that. It looked like she's so muscular, and they can it's like Big E when he got dropped on his dome piece. If that was a normal person, who knows if they're even walking? But Big E lifts a lot. That's why I always tell you guys, go to the gym as often as you can. Get strong. It's not just if somebody gives you a side eye in Starbucks and you want to put them through the wall, but it's for your own mental being, but it's for your own good. In case there is an injury, anything like that, when you have a lot more muscle on you, it's better off. You're better off. You just always want to be the strongest you can be, mentally, physically, emotionally, all of that. Every time you wake up, you are ready to rock out. And because Big E did that, he took that injury and he's walking today. And there's a day he could have a wrestling match again. But, you see Jordynne Grace take that bump and you're like, whoa, is she even going to get up? Well, yeah, I mean, she's so strong. She's got that muscle. She stood right back up seconds later. But that was a nasty botch. Thankfully, she was okay. Jordynne Grace. Again, Julia afterwards takes everybody out. Stand and Deliver. This is what she says. Actually, this was a post-interview. So after she takes out Stephanie, drops her on her dome piece, Julia puts her foot right on her face as Julia's knocked out, looks at the hard cam, and hoists up her title. And then afterwards in a post-match backstage interview, Julia says, Stand and Deliver. There are no friends. Rematch. But I think they did make that a fatal 4, though, so I don't think you're getting a straight-up one-on-one. If JR9 gives his review down below, maybe he can confirm that. I don't know if he's going to put that in his report. But I think that fatal 4. Full disclosure, full transparency, I was doing like 3 different business endeavors while watching and doing my notes for you guys. So, hey, it's not a Raw and SmackDown. Be happy I'm even doing this. It's NXT. 600 some odd thousand people watch this. But I figured you guys would like, and I did want to talk Jordynne and Jaida. I wish the match was a little bit longer, a lot better finish. I wish a lot of things because I really put these ladies on a pedestal, but still pretty cool to see this matchup. You went into Fraxium. This was a tag match. Fraxium over Swipe Right. I don't know. I heard like this is like from the ID program, I believe. So again, I don't know. Maybe JR9 can clarify that, or maybe you guys know, but I don't know much about them. I can't believe I'm saying this, but Swipe Right may one day, not today, but one day, they might be a big deal in this industry, guys. They actually. I mean, they're still so young and so scrawny. There's a lot of gym that needs to be, a lot of gym sessions in the future for them. Maybe hit a little bit of creatine, not too much, not good for the organs, but they'll bulk up a little. But I feel like, damn, for the spotlight they were given, the pressure is on because you're taking on one of the best teams I've ever seen. Guys, Fraxium, I've never... As far as Fraxium goes, I'm not sure 2 dudes work better together today in wrestling or ever, but, the Rockers work so well together. Foundation, Fabulous Rougeaus, Usos, obviously, my favorite tag. I mean, there's teams that work together so well, but Fraxium, for 2 dudes just thrown together, damn, they're good. And you're throwing these two little weasels, and I say that with respect because I'm saying, like, I went into this not knowing anything about, didn't want to, get the fuck off the TV, and when it was all said and done, I'm like, dude, they might be something big in this business. But for my first time looking at them, yeah, two little weasels taking on one of the best teams we've seen in a long time. And these two little weasels, they performed, they kicked ass, man. They lost, obviously, they have to. Fraxium defeated Swipe Right via pinfall, but I can't believe I'm saying it. One day, not today, but one day, I think Swipe Right has a place. That's all I'm going to say. That's as much praise as I'll give. But to go into that and go, oh, what is this? And then by the end of it, go, all right, that was semi-entertaining. Again, Fraxium, just too damn good, man. Soruka! My girl Soruka, man. You can't have a ladder match. Another schmaz for Stand and Deliver, by the way. It's a 6-woman ladder match for the North American title. At least this is one I'm actually looking for. This is easily the match of the weekend so far. With Mania Night 1, Mania Night 2, and Stand and Deliver. This is the match I'm most looking forward to. Go figure. But it is another multi-schmaz. But you can't have a women's ladder match for NXT without Soruka. So this was her chance to earn her way into it. And Soruka does defeat Jasmine Nix of Fatal Influence. This was via pinfall. And a beautiful, spot-on, nasty soul catcher. Guys, all honesty, one, as I always am with you guys, one of, if not my favorite finisher in the biz today is that soul catcher. And it's right up there, and it reminds me of Ember Moon's Flying Stunner. Do you guys remember that? I forgot exactly how it's even I haven't seen Ember Moon, Athena, in so long. Tony Khan has her in, just off of AEW, but she is going to be taking on Mercedes Moné soon. I'm going to have to check that out. But if you guys don't know, Ember Moon, Athena was always just one of my favorites in World Wrestling Entertainment, man. And her finisher, I think she called it the Eclipse. If I'm wrong, you guys can correct me, but I think it was like the Eclipse, and it's just like a off-the-rope stunner. It was so captivating, and I haven't seen anything like that, really, especially from the ladies' sense, until the soul catcher came around. And it takes two to tango. The person taking the soul catcher. I always say this about RKOs. Like, it's about the person taking it too. And I got to give credit to Jasmine Nix because she took this spot on. But that soul catcher is such a hard move to perform because you have to be spot on. And you have to put that trust in who you're working with and who's about to take it. But if everything works out, I mean, that move is it's such a thing of beauty. It's so beautiful. The soul catcher, Soul Aruka, is now in that ladder match. You gonna see some wild shit in that ladder match with Soul Aruka. Aruka qualifies. And then we ended hour one with another, they do this every week with Hank and Tank. They're in a random tag team match. There's no reason, no rhyme or reason, no care. But they just, in the middle of the show, they'll just put a Hank and Tank tag match. Now, I guess there's a little story there. Their confidence are kind of down, right? Like last night, the Street Profits were backstage hyping them up, right? It's a hoorah speech from who better than the Street Profits, the master of hypers. So they hype up Hank and Tank. But my question is just a question. Everybody, it might have a different answer. It's in the eye of the beholder. But when you look at Hank and Tank and you see their performances, are they really moving the needle for you? Are you going to show up to the arenas and you want Hank and Tank t-shirts? I mean, if they did what they did to Heavy Machinery, that was a tag team that could have went places. If they did that to Heavy Machinery and Otis has been just, I don't even know what since, what are they going to do with a Hank and a Tank? So, yeah, you say, well, this is all storyline, but you see their confidence, they're always losing, and they're due for a big winning streak, and they're gonna be skyrocketed. Yeah, obviously that's where they're going with it, but is anybody gonna give a shit? That's what I'm asking. Anyway, hour one ends with another Hank Tank loss. Cool story, bro. Let's go to hour number two. This started with some bad, convoluted Hunter Helmsley type booking. Hour two was worse than hour one. At least hour one, I got to see my gal Soruka qualify, and I got to see Jordynne and Jaida, even though it's not how I would have liked it booked. At least I got to see my ladies out there rocking out, and Fraxium doing their thing. Hour 2, it just went off the rails big time. This booking, literally, I would have thought Hunter booked this. Ricky Starks is out there, Lexis King, Eddie Thorpe, Wes Lee, Ethan Page, and who knows who else. Right? The 7 Dwarfs were out there, Tickle Me Elmo, a couple of Power Rangers, and a Transformer. I don't know. Everybody was out there. You talk convoluted. And then I remember Page dropped Ricky Saints, formerly known as Ricky Starks in AEW. So Ethan Page dropped Saints, and then I couldn't tell you what happened afterwards. I think like there was a lot more like people taking one another out, I believe. I just was like, I zoned. I was watching it. I didn't change. I was watching it, but zoned out because I was like, what are they doing, man? I expect this on Raw and SmackDown under Hunter Helmsley, not Michaels, not in NXT, bro. Don't take a bunch of good talent and just throw them away. Don't just because you don't have the time or you don't want to give the effort or you're just lost creatively. Don't put them in this type of convoluted bullshit. And that's what we got. I can't be any more realer with you there. Yes, I probably could, but I don't have the time to right now. I do have to move on with this review. But this was a WWE clusterfuck just on NXT. I expect that on the main roster. I'll leave it at that. Wes Lee then defeats Niamura, I believe, correct? Yes. Wes Lee defeated Niamura via cardiac kick pinfall. I put it in my notes, but then I was like, I don't remember that though, right? Like, was it Niamura? Yes, it was, because he was given his chops and all amplified, and then moments later he lost via the cardiac kick. So there you go. All right. Pretty straight up match. I don't see what it really does for anybody. Just like the next matchup, Izzy Dane defeating Ren Sinclair via pinfall. This was messy. It just wasn't good. And somehow Izzy botches her pin. You can't make this shit up. She botched the actual pin. Now, usually you hear that when, like, what we saw with Damian Priest. And then recently, too, somebody else botched. Oh, who was it? But it was after Damian. But that's when they just forget to kick out. I mean, that's just sad. You know, they just didn't hear the two or they thought they were... It happens. It can't, but it does. But just as bad, and maybe in some cases even worse, because it's... I mean, nobody's making the cover. In this instance, Izzy was pinning Ren. It was on the actual pinfall where Izzy thought that the referee had already counted 3. So at the count of 2, Izzy gets off of Ren. And she was already doing like the type of pinfall where she's like in a sit-down position with Ren's legs up. And she's kind of almost like if you were to do a sit-down powerbomb and you're pinning them that way. So at the count of 2, she's totally just chucking her off and she's off. And the referee just continues to count because the ref was told that was the finish. So she's trying to do her job. Meanwhile, Izzy's not even on Ren anymore. At the count of 2, she was already off. She counts 3 anyway. Commentary's like, oh, Vic Joseph is like, oh, I thought she got her. No, she didn't. Oh, she did. Oh, she did win. Vic Joseph's lost. Booker's like, shucky, quacky, wacky, ducky, duck. Or whatever he says. I think he stayed silent. Booker T didn't even want a piece of that, bro. This was really bad, man. This was really bad. I mean, when Damian did it many months ago and he just didn't kick his shoulder up, I'm like, dude, you can't do that. I mean, you have to know your count. The whole thing goes off the rails at that point. The believability, suspending the disbelief, what I call suspending belief, that's thrown to the wayside. So, I mean, that was just horrible by Izzy Dane. You have to listen, you have to watch if you have to, but you have to stay on for the cover, especially if that is literally the cover. I don't know what the heck happened there. I think I do know what happened, and that's even... I wish I didn't know what happened, maybe, with Izzy, and that was bad. In all my years, I can't recall that. I put that in my notes. All of my years and decades watching pro wrestling. And for those that don't know, if you're new to the channel, I used to dissect. I basically reviewed wrestling before there was even an interweb machine or anybody gave a shit. I always liked to review it. And at the table, anybody that was around me or friends, or I'd be like just giving everybody the facts. I'll be like, this is what happened last night. This is what it's going to lead to. This is why this shouldn't have been done. This wrestler should not be doing that. This is going to be something special. And I'd usually be right like like a Clorox wipe 99.99% of the time. But in all my years recounting pro wrestling, I can't recall that. Not saying it hasn't happened. I just don't recall that. The closest I've seen is maybe like a Bam Bam Bigelow or something where they got the pin, and at 2.5 they start the process of like chucking the legs away, you know? Like, all right, boom. But this was clear at 2, just getting off of her. It was, okay, I'm not going to harp on it. I hope these ladies just learn from that, and it was just a sloppy match. I didn't get it. I mean, you can't go from Jordynne and Jaida and then go to that match. I mean, Jordynne Jaida is clearly a main event, not the 6-man stupid shit that we saw last night. Jaida and Jordynne's your main event. And that's why. Because then when you have matches like that afterwards, what do you think the crowd's going to... The crowd ain't going to give a shit. People at home are going to be like, what is this? You go from Jaida and Jordynne to this? Ren and Izzy? Much love and respect to Izzy and Ren, by the way. Not saying they ain't going to have beautiful careers. That's what we're hoping for. I felt from the beginning this was not the right matchup. I felt this was going to be messy. It ended up being messy. The botch didn't help anything. This is just not the best for Izzy or Ren Sinclair. I think we all can agree on that based on that. But we're not going to harp on it to the point where, oh, they're done. No. But learn from this, right? Shawn Michaels learned from it. Izzy, Ren, everybody will be better for it. Backstage, the whole women's locker room is still trying to get into the North American ladder match, I believe, right? I think they're trying to have like a last spot match, maybe. I don't know what it was, man. They were all just like yelling at Ava, and Roxy was in this, and I just remember being like, "Are you kidding me?" That's when I zoned out, guys, because next up was the main event 6-man tag, and when I saw Roxy trying to get a match at Stand and Deliver, I just was like done. I was done with the show. I was like, this is pathetic. She gets called up. Hunter uses her a couple times, and then Hunter's like, I have nothing right now. Take her back, Shawn. Maybe put her in Stand and Deliver. But what he did, he brought her back to Shawn Michaels, and she just loses now. They're doing the Braun Breaker thing, guys, where Breaker was supposed to be there a year earlier, and then they're just like, stay in NXT, collect a bunch of losses, tag team with Baron Corbin. And then when you guys are done, we're going to fire Baron Corbin or not re-sign him. And we're going to, we'll give you a title, but we'll book you like an absolute clown, which Braun Breaker, I don't even understand his booking. I'm not even going to try to understand it. That's how stupid it is. But they did this with Breaker. Now Roxy, they're just fucking her around, man. They're just volleying her back. They're screwing with the confidence and the self-esteem. She doesn't know what she is. Character-wise, remember the report I told you? Sean Ross and Fightful saying talent is asking them what they are because they really don't know behind the scenes. Like, Hunter's not giving them any transparency. I wouldn't be surprised if Roxy's one of them. Like, Roxy's like, dude, what am I supposed to be? I got called up for a few weeks. Did you see me? And now I'm back in NXT trying to get a match at their little event on Saturday afternoon. I mean, how sad is that? But that tells you how WWE, not only do they not have their ducks in a row, they can't even find their ducks, much less give Roxy any type of consistent booking with continuity at the forefront. Because, I don't know, continuity and consistency can really help a superstar's self-esteem and confidence. Fuck that. This company likes to absolutely strip them down of their self-esteem, their confidence, absolutely destroy that. So in the aftermath, in the ashes, they can rise up a WWE creation, somebody right off the assembly line. That's why they love the Performance Center. Everybody can come off the same assembly line like the same cardboard box. They talk the same, they act the same, they wrestle the same, they look the same, they look at the same cameras and the angles. That's why they want the WWE ID program, right? They want to go to all the training schools and they want their WWE logo because they know the trainers are going to conform. All those trainers are going to do things the WWE way now because they want their wrestlers to get the WWE because it looks better for them and more money for them. The trainers, it's more money for them. If you can boast, come to our school. We have 26 wrestlers in WWE. You're going to want to come to us. They're all going to conform to the WWE way to do things. And when you do that, man, nobody's different. Nobody stands out. So gone are the days to hear somebody like Rowdy Piper, Ric Flair, Or even Warrior and Savage, whether you ever understood what they were saying or not doesn't matter. They captivated you when they had a microphone. Or when Mean Gene Okerlund was sticking a mic in their face. Gone are those days. Ric Flair, Steve Austin, The Rock. You don't hear promos like that anymore because nobody knows how to cut promos. And then they have these promo classes in NXT school at the Performance Center. What is that doing? If somebody lacks personality and charisma, what do you think a class is going to do? That shit is called the it factor. You either have personality and talent or you don't. Personality and charisma, I should say. They all are good talent in the ring. They're all a bunch of fucking gymnasts these days. Man, that was a little rant there. Where was I going with any of that? Oh yeah, just Roxy. Just Roxy is it mingled in there with everybody else as if we didn't just see her get called up. The fuck you doing? And at that point I checked out. I didn't care about the main event, which by the way was, I think it was Oba, Trick, and Javon versus Dark State, I believe. And when I tuned back in, guys, zoned back in, Javon Evans was getting his ass whooped and Dark State was looking at the hard cam. I wish I had more. No, I don't wish. But if you guys really wanted to hear my thoughts on this main event, oh man, BC, I wish, man, I liked the match. I was hoping you could tell us more. Guys, sorry, not sorry. Hour 2 took me right out of this show. And by the time they got to Roxy, I said, fuck this. NXT, man, it went drastically backwards for BC. Hour 2 was just horrendous. Hour 1 barely kept me hanging on. Thankfully, they had Sol Ruka, Jaida, and Jordynne, and seeing Julia and Stephanie. The women really rocked Hour 1. Fraxium held their own, too, with this team called Swipe Right. I don't know. I don't book it. That's what I got for you guys, man. All right, that's it. Wednesday, April 9, 2025. Amped Up is in the books. Thank you guys big time, man, for all the support already this week, man. You guys are rocking out already, and it's just midweek. So a lot more planned for the rest of the week. Stay amplified as always. Until next time, there will be that next time. BC saying check you. 44 dive. That's a wrap. Salud.